You sweep what you sow. Every other Thursday morning, this random silver Mazda SUV would park right in front of my house at like 6:45 a.m. and just sit there for hours. I live alone and only have one car that I keep in my garage, so the spot in front of my place is basically always empty. At first I thought maybe it was someone's tutor coming to teach their kid before school, or maybe a home health nurse visiting an elderly neighbor. I didn't think much of it, just some random car that showed up on Thursdays and left by noon. This went on for like 3 months. Same silver Mazda, same spot, every other Thursday without fail. One Tuesday I was walking my dog Cooper and decided to take a different route through the neighborhood. I usually go left out of my driveway, but that day I went right and walked down a few streets I don't normally go down. That's when I saw it. The exact same silver Mazda parked in someone's driveway about 4 streets over. I stood there staring at it like I was solving a murder mystery. Then it hit me. Every other Thursday. That was street sweeping day for my side of the neighborhood. The city sends these big trucks through to clean the gutters, and you're not supposed to park on the street or you get a ticket. But the sweeping schedule is different depending on which street you're on. My street gets swept on Thursdays. Their street probably gets swept on a completely different day. This person was moving their car to my curb every other Thursday so the street sweeper could clean their curb while blocking mine from getting cleaned. They were using my spot as their personal parking storage so they could have a clean street while leaving mine covered in leaves and dirt. I felt like an idiot for not figuring it out sooner. The more I thought about it, the more annoyed I got. This wasn't some emergency situation. They were just being lazy and selfish. They could have parked literally anywhere else, but they chose my house specifically because it was convenient for them. That Thursday, I decided I was done being their free parking spot. I set my alarm for 6:30 a.m., which is way earlier than I normally wake up. I dragged myself out of bed, threw on sweatpants, and rolled both my trash cans out to the curb. I positioned them right where the Mazda usually parks so there was no way they could fit. Then I went back inside and waited by my living room window with my coffee. At 6:43 a.m., right on schedule, here comes the silver Mazda driving slowly down my street. I watched them pull up to my house, realized there were trash cans blocking their usual spot, and just sit there for a minute like they were trying to figure out what to do. They circled the block once, came back, looked at my house again, then finally gave up and parked in front of another neighbor's house 3 doors down. I watched a woman in her 40s get out of the car wearing yoga pants and carrying a Starbucks cup. She locked the car and started walking back in the direction of her house. She didn't even live on my street. She was walking like 4 streets over. As soon as she was out of sight, I grabbed my keys and walked to my garage. I drove my car over to her street and parked right in front of her house, the exact spot where her Mazda normally sits. Then I walked the 4 streets back to my house. By the time I got home, I still had 20 minutes before the street sweeper came. I rolled my trash cans back up to my garage and watched from my window as the sweeper truck rolled down my street. It cleaned my entire curb perfectly because there were no cars blocking it. Then I walked back over to her street and waited in my car. About an hour later, the street sweeper came down her street. It had to go around my car, which meant it couldn't clean the curb in front of her house. Leaves and dirt and trash stayed right there in her gutter. The woman came back around 11:30 to get her Mazda. She walked up, saw my car in her spot, and just stood there staring at it. I was parked legally on a public street, so there was nothing she could do about it. She had to walk past my car to get to hers, and I could see her looking at my license plate like she was trying to figure out who I was. I waited until she drove away, then I moved my car back home. Mission accomplished. She wanted a clean curb at someone else's expense, so I made sure she got exactly what she was giving me: a dirty curb and an inconvenient morning. She never parked in front of my house again.